All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the man, the myth, the legend.
Hell yeah.
We got Manhattan Beach, most wanted. We got the, every driver's sobrina wants him. You know what I'm saying? We got, the controversial Jorge Contreras. So how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm excellent, man. I've been long awaiting this to get this interview. You know what I mean? So let's get a little information about you, man. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in La Puente.
La Puente.
San Gabriel Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in?
I mean, it's pretty calm out there.
Okay.
You know, the population over there is like what? Growing up, it was probably like about 30,000.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot less people out there than it is out here.
Okay. So, growing up in La Puente, coming up, what were your interests? What kind of interests did you have as a kid, as a youth?
A lot of sports.
Okay.
There was no phones, nothing like that growing up.
Okay.
We're always just pretty much out in the street, just playing sports, riding bikes, skateboards, baseball, football, basketball, everything.
I mean, out of all of those sports that you mentioned, which sport do you gravitate to the most?
Baseball for sure.
I was going to kind of say that because I see that logo on your forehead. I know that they have the Ohtani situation going on right now.
Man. I mean, they have a lot of good players right now.
All
Betts,
right.
Freeman, Ohtani.
Yeah.
Hernandez was a really good pickup. They have Muncy. They have Smith. They have a lot of good hitters right now.
Wow. It's almost like a foreign language to me, man. I need to learn a little bit more about baseball, But so as you're growing up in La Puente, you become a grown-up, and I mean, what was kind of like your first job? What did you get into? What was your first job?
First job was probably, I want to say when I was like about 13.
Okay.
Just like handing out business cards for a barbershop. And, growing up Hispanic, it was just pretty much work, Everybody, the uncles, the pops, the moms, everybody working. And, it was always pretty much everybody's at work, and you're just kind of out and about. And yeah, that was the first job.
So you're 13. You're not in the house playing video games. You're out here hustling, making money. Do you believe that having that job at 13 kind of planted a seed for the work ethic that you would eventually need to get into the trash industry?
For sure. I mean, you got a taste for just working and making money and just having something that is consistent and you're consistently getting paid.
Wow. Okay. So, man, like, how do you get this commercial license?
I got it when I was 18.
All right.
And yeah, so for the time it was like I had that restriction where I couldn't go out of state until I was 21.
Okay.
And I got it pretty young.
All right, so you get your license at 18. What is the first company that you go to? What is the industry that you look forward to going to at 18 years old? That's pretty young.
So when I got it at 18, nobody would really hire you. And it was like 2008, there was like a recession at that time. So I was just doing like a lot of warehouse work, like temp jobs and stuff like that. And then eventually I became a driver, like driving a box truck. I was probably like 19.
19 years old, okay? That's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. So you're 19 years old with this box truck. what do you eventually get into? I mean, what is the next job path for a 19-year-old trying to get this commercial industry experience?
So at that time, it was always kind of like on weekends or during the week sometimes. A lot of my uncles and my cousins have commercial trucks, semis. So I would just kind of roll around with them, work a couple of days here, a couple of days there. And I mean, yeah, eventually when I got hired as a driver for a company, it was with Cemex. And this was a couple of years later. You know, I always just kind of had like little jobs here and there. For like owner operators with bobtails, sometimes with semis, and yeah, Cemex was the first one. Cemex, I was there for, I want to say like a good 6 years.
Woo!
Yeah, and cement business. I mean, it would rain out here. Even if it rained like a day, you wouldn't work like the whole week.
Woo!
Yeah, so you know you're working like that, doing unemployment for like about half the year. And this was in Azusa, California.
Where's that?
There's a WM in Irwindale, and it's a city that's like, it's right next to it.
Oh, okay,
It's over
okay,
there by the quarries over there off the 210.
okay.
And I mean, I would always see the WMs right there just running nonstop all the time. And
It's kind of like right next to that freeway, if I'm not mistaken, right?
next to it, right next
Yes,
to it.
yes.
Right next to the Miller.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Giving me memories, man. Okay, so did that pique your interest, or did that get you kind of interested into trash? I'm trying to figure out what was it that made you say, hey, let me give this trash industry a shot.
I mean, there's always trash, right? And working, and you're not working that much. Your checks were never the same. They were high, low, high, low. And like I said, I mean, I'm going into work and I see these trucks like just going in, going out non-stop all the time. And then like I said, it's trash, so I mean, it's consistent. So I'm like, I'm gonna apply here. And I applied like when I first started at Cemex. And then nothing. I got no interview or nothing. And then maybe I was a little young. I want to say I was like maybe like 23 at the time when I applied. And then eventually I applied again when I was like 27. And within about a week, I did a phone interview and an in-person interview, and I got hired.
Awesome. So, what year do you enter the trash industry?
I started in April 2017.
Wow. So we're going on how many years?
7.
7 years. Now, working for Waste Management, what has been your experience?
Experience. I mean, it's been good. I've been here 7 years, right?
Okay.
What could I say? I wanted to stay consistent, and I mean, that's what I got.
Okay. So, I mean, you're a controversial person, man. I don't know why. Why such controversy? I mean, there's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of people speculating and all of that type of stuff. But you seem like an all right guy to me, man. It don't seem like there's much drama around you, man. But it seems like, people may have a perception of you that's not accurate. Because I personally know you, and I know that's not accurate. And I think you're one of the best, at least residential drivers in the yard. So I guess my question would be, the question I'm trying to come up with is, what is the enigma behind you, meaning the mystery behind you? What do you think makes people have a certain opinion or view you a certain way?
Oh man, probably say maybe just the energy, you know,
Okay.
the energy that I bring sometimes. And it's high low like everybody else. I'm a human being, and I have a life outside of work. And I mean, yeah, the hours sometimes, you know, I mean, you're working consistently all the time, 12-hour days, 5 days a week, plus Saturdays, and sometimes you're working 14-hour days. And you don't stop and think how this might affect you psychologically, you know?
Absolutely. Yes.
And just like I said, I mean, we're all human beings, and everybody has something on their mind outside of work, and then work is a different story, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So working in Manhattan Beach, did you just immediately start working in Manhattan Beach, or was this one of the things that you kind of fell into by luck or by chance or by signing up for a route? How did you get to Manhattan Beach?
So when I started, I worked in Long Beach mainly for like maybe I want to say the first 4 months. It was all rear loader work, right?
Okay.
And I mean, you know, you come in and maybe I had something to prove or whatever, at least that I could do the job. And yeah, I mean, in those 4 months, I mean, I made it happen for sure. And after that, shortly after that, they showed me a side loader. And yeah, and what was it, like a couple? When did we lose the city of Carson?
Ooh, we talking about what? Was that 20?
It's like 2017. Later
2017, 2018. Yes.
Yeah, and then yeah, eventually they posted up some routes. There was a lot of names on there, right, on all those routes, so I knew I wasn't gonna get anything. Then there was swing. There was 2 names on there, so I signed that one, and then I got the swing position.
Wow. So what was it like being a cover driver?
The thing was that I only knew residential, right? I got the position, and I never really learned nothing else. They put me on roll-off for a bit. I picked that up, but I feel like I was always on resi because at that time, when I was picking it up, I was kicking ass, man. I mean,
Right.
It was kind of like being in a lineup for baseball, you know? It's like, what do you do here? All you got to do is get on base, and I would get on base.
That's right.
And you know you're getting on base. Nobody's got to tell you that you're getting on base. You know you're getting on base.
That's right. That's right. So we're doing the whole cover driver thing.
That's cool.
How? I know it's pretty. I'm pretty sure the listeners can hear the wind.
Yeah.
The viewers can hear the wind.
Yeah.
But I want to know how we go from the cover driver position to getting an actual route.
So I was doing the swing position for a little while, right?
Okay.
I did it. I want to say I did it for like a year and a half.
Okay.
And then who was it that left? At the time, I think it was like one driver left. He was doing trash. So the guy that was doing the recycle signed up for the trash, and then nobody wanted that recycle route, right? So I want to say I covered that route as a swing driver. Like I was just set on that route for like maybe like a good 6 months, and then maybe like after the 6 months, I want to say I took about 3 drivers out there to train them that route that I was doing, right? Nobody wanted that route, and then eventually I signed up for it.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's delve into another topic. My channel is mainly about the union, mainly being the 396 Teamsters. And I wanted to know your opinion and your experience being a local 396 Teamster, what has been your experience? Like, do you think there's some things that can improve? Do you like it currently? What is your opinion of being a 396 Teamster?
Man, well, I can't compare it to like another union. So I've only ever been at one place that has union, and it's this one, and I can't complain. I I mean, as far as the pay and the benefits, and I'll compare it as far as contracts. That's what I could do, right?
Okay.
As far as I've seen 3 contracts. So when I started, it was like the last year of the first contract that I caught, right?
Right.
And then I caught 5 years of the second one, and then there was a good little bump in this third one. So, I mean, I can't complain.
But I've heard the complaints. They're like, the union doesn't do anything for us. Okay, this is a UPS union. What do they do for us? I mean, what would be your response to that?
That's the thing. I don't really know how it goes for UPS. I mean, I hear a lot of good things about them, and it is the same union. So I mean, I can't really say as far as like, I can't compare what they have to what we have, because I don't know what they have. I don't really have too much information on that. That's the thing that I can't really, on that topic, I can't really say too much.
So what makes the union, if you don't know, what makes the 396 so good, man? What makes them such, you have no complaints? What's that all about, man?
Bad? I have nothing bad to say.
Okay.
As far as like the good, like I said, I went off that contract. There was a good bump this time. I mean, as far as with the pension, there was a nice little bump that we got, as opposed to what I recall hearing from other drivers that have been here for, what did we have, like 4 people retiring this morning, right?
Right, correct.
They said it was a combined 140 years of work.
Labor,
right?
correct.
Yeah, between the 4 years. That's a lot of missed pickups. Nah. But yeah, just, I mean, it more than like doubled and tripled. I mean, it went up a few bucks, and in the past ones it was just like a couple of cents. So what could I say, right?
Absolutely. Well, I think, if I may interject or add, I think that a lot of people get confused as to what the union's, what the union's position is and what they're supposed to do. A lot of times people don't really know the rules, and they don't really know the book like that. So they have this false belief that they're supposed to be everything for the driver. Their psychologists, their therapists, because the supervisor didn't agree with them, they have a right to complain, or they have a right to just be very, very, they're supposed to use the union as their like personal security anytime they have a disagreement with the supervisor. And I don't believe that that's how it works, and how it should be. As constituted, I would agree with you. I have no complaints as well. So what do you think? What do you think the drivers should do? Because the complaints, drivers have their complaints. But what do you think the drivers should do or could do to improve? I guess their understanding of what being a Teamster is all about.
As far as being a Teamster, I mean, maybe you look at that union contract.
Right? I agree.
And that's one of the things that, I mean, I feel like I look at the contract sometimes, and You know, you see the changes from, like I said, from the 3, and you notice some differences. Those are the key things that stand out, right?
Right.
But there's some things that were not changed that I didn't know.
Right.
And I mean, you just gotta kind of like read that. You know?
I agree.
Soak that in. You know, drink it up, because you're better off knowing all this stuff. Because I mean, even that's with the contract, right? That's as far as being a Teamster. That's the union contract. And then there's the work policy. And that's another thing that you got to pick that stuff up. Everything.
Absolutely. That's the general rules.
You're better off knowing all this stuff, not hearing it from somebody. Like, pick it up on your own. That way you know you're confident. It's like the law pretty much, you know?
Right.
If you're within that law, then you're secure in your workplace.
Absolutely.
And if you're not sure, then, I mean, it's a little harder to just have peace of mind while on the job. Something might happen or whatever, and you might not know what's gonna happen based off of just maybe like one of those little things that just happen on the job sometimes.
Right.
But if you know the policy, you know what it is.
Right.
That's it.
Now recently we had a driver. It was rumored that this driver had lost his job because he went to the restroom he went behind the blade to use the restroom. I was informed by the manager of this yard, the main manager of this yard, that was not the case.
Yeah.
It turned out to be something else. I believe that if this driver was a person that studied the contract or was at least involved with learning the contract, this could have been something that he would have understood, so that way he wouldn't even be in the situation that he was in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say that I even know what the situation was, but I'm just saying, if it was a situation where it can involve immediate termination, I believe that if this driver had the proper information and was getting involved with trying to learn the information simply by just trying to understand the do's and don'ts, what can get you fired, what can't get you fired, I believe he still would. You know, I'm hoping that this guy comes back. So I'm not speaking down on him, but I'm just saying, I believe that if he knew this type of information, especially about this current contract, he would still be here. So I guess my question would be, what should be done? I feel like there's not enough unity between the drivers. I feel like the drivers don't have enough interest in topics like what the union contract and things that can get us fired. I feel like a lot of times we wait until it's too late, and what's the best way I could put it? The best type of way to keep your job is to prevent getting in a situation where you have to go to the union and ask for a grievance, or the best type of prevention the best type of way to keep your job is prevention. All right, so what's your take on that?
Oh yeah, so like I said earlier, I mean, just the union contract and the policy, right? Like, learn those up, drink them like water, stay hydrated. Don't wait to be thirsty. Know 'em.
Right, correct.
Know them, and you shouldn't have any problems. At the end of the day, like I said, these are in a court of law in California. At the end of the day, these are going to be laws.
Right.
Policies and contracts, they turn into laws.
Right.
So you'll be all right. If you learn this information, you'll know how to keep your job. Like these 4 guys that just retired.
Right.
I mean, some of these guys were like, what, 30-something years, 140 years.
40 years, yes.
That's a long time.
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yes.
And yeah, like I said, I mean, that driver that you mentioned, I mean, I hope we get him back because he was a hell of a worker.
I believe so too.
And I think he had been here maybe like about 30 years himself.
Correct.
Right?
And
Yeah.
we need to bring him back.
Veteran driver.
So
Really?
I want to make this clear, and I want to reiterate that I am not speaking down on this driver because I do not know the situation. I'm specifically getting one side from a non-bargaining unit member, and I don't know what the truth is. But if it is the truth, I would love for other drivers to get more involved and learn these simple things by just reaching out, man. You don't have to. Everything doesn't have to be where you have to go to a shop steward. And I believe a lot of drivers, they wait for a situation to happen, then go to a shop steward when it's too late. So I mean, what's your opinion on that? We're gonna wrap things up because it's getting kind of cold.
Yeah.
But
yeah, pretty much like you said.
okay.
I mean, it's what is that saying? The best way to or how I don't know.
I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to
it's
say,
like, dude,
the best. It's like the best way. Let's just say you have a house, and this house, you're like, man, I got this problem with this pest. I got a problem with rats, right? Now you can set some traps, right? And the traps will catch a few rats, right?
Yeah.
But if you're dealing with an infestation, you could even go say, you know what, we're gonna throw a tarp and we're gonna just what they call it, where they put the tarp over the house and they bomb the house with all kinds of insecticides and all right. Or you could do something that would be probably the best solution, which would be prevention from them even getting inside the house. Period.
Yep, that's how you
going on top of the roof, applying the what is that? The copper wire and cement, and patching them holes up so that way that the rodents can't get in there. Going and putting the proper stuff over the places that they can enter. So the best type of the best type of pest prevention is avoid getting everything prepared before you even have an infestation or a problem. Period. Right? And I feel like a lot of times that could be the case with drivers, where it's like, man, look, the best type of security is prevention, right? And any final thoughts? Anything that you have to say regarding anything? Because we're taking it home now, man. We're about to close this out. It's getting kind of chilly.
Yeah. As far as we spoke about policies and all that. Learn as much as you can. Anything that you don't understand. Spanish or English, we're about 100 drivers. Everybody's cool with somebody. Talk about, relate with them or whatever. Anybody you relate with, you should be able to ask something serious about keeping the job. The policies and the union contract, these things are important. Your job is important. You're here for a reason. You didn't just decide like, oh, I'm gonna go get a job and just because you love working in trash. I mean, it's a really good job. There's always trash. It's consistent. Your checks they stay consistent, right? The hours they're not gonna go up and down. It's just you're pretty much set on always your 50 plus hours a week, 60, sometimes 70, and keep this job. It's not a bad job. But as far as anything else besides the policies, is like
but homie, I'm not trying to retire here. I'm supposed to be a trash man for the rest of my life, man.
Nah, you're not supposed to, man. I don't know what you want. That's the thing. only you know what you want and what you can do. I mean, I could tell you to go and maybe become like a cook or something, but you ain't trying to be a cook. Si no te nace, then you're not gonna become a cook. This is not a bad job. Like at the end, these guys retired, and you see that they made it happen, right? So it's possible to make it happen, and retiring from here is not a bad thing. if you want to make it happen for yourself somewhere else, where you might make it happen, and it's a better opportunity, hell yeah, make that shit happen. But I mean, this is not a bad place to retire from. You know, at least you're here, and anything else from here should be on the way up and not on the way down.
Wow, man, that's incredible, George. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your candor, your honesty, and man, homie, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for your interview. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and you have a blessed evening and a blessed career, man.
Likewise,
Any questions or anything like that, you know you could always come to me, and I'm gonna help you out, man. All right, peace.